This is the newest bike from Xtracycle. It's called the Hopper. And yes, it stands on its own. In this full review, first I'll walk you through all the components and yes, all of the accessories. Then we'll get into some first-person riding footage, see how the bike performs, yes, while loaded. All right, let's see how fast we can go, of course, safely with keeping in mind the kids are in the back. And then I'll get into some third-person riding footage where I'll give you the pros and cons of this cargo electric bike. But first, let's take a closer look. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know I am a sucker for cargo electric bikes. Let's bring this down. So it's actually pretty stable when it's vertical, but you probably want to have a wall against the front tire just in case it were to fall forward. Side-to-side balance is really good though. So firstly, Xtracycle is a brand that focuses just on cargo electric bikes. Last year, we reviewed their Swoop and we really liked that bike, so we jumped at the opportunity to be one of the first channels to check out the brand new Hopper. There are some key differences here, and I did put them side by side so you can get an idea of just the length difference, because the Hopper is more of a compact cargo electric bike, but even though it is more compact, you still get tons of storage in the rear for up to 3 children, as we personally tested out. But yes, it is shorter than the Swoop. This is also packing a hub drive motor instead of a mid-drive motor. It also has a throttle, which the other models previously didn't. So yes, I like the brand, but I also like the price on this electric bike. Normal pricing is $29.99, which puts it on the higher end of cargo electric bikes, at least more affordable ones. But launch pricing is $24.99, but only if you use the coupon code down in the description. Also, if you're making a purchase, it helps support our channel. So thank you so much for your support. So a lot of the value is in the included accessories. I'll get to that in a second. But also free shipping, that's not really surprising, but free assembly where available. Xtracycle teams in the Bay Area or in New York, but they've also partnered with the Beeline network, which includes over 3,000 bike shops and mobile service centers. And they also offer a white glove experience if you prefer, but free assembly is not something that we've seen offered from other brands. So now the accessories, we do have some optional ones on here. So what comes included? Firstly, you get this massive front rack. It's called their Porter Rack, 25 kilogram capacity. The bag, which I'll show off in a second, is optional. You also get the running boards for your kids' feet. Of course, the rear rack comes with the bike, but also you get their hoopty rail system. It's double rails, which is nice, extra protection, and also some nice pads for the kids to hang on to. And once your kids maybe grow out of the hoopty, I believe they're called snack bars, which still give your kids something to hang on to. And then yes, the Xtracycle pad here, you can see we have it folded up for a backrest for our older child. That's an optional accessory, as well as the Thule seats. But having some included accessories, which are important on cargo electric bikes, is something we haven't seen from other brands, and sometimes they can add up very quickly. Let's talk about the frame, its sizing and fitment. We have a lower standover height right here. I also want to call out this kickstand. I'll demonstrate that right now. What's great is you simply put your foot in front of it and it is spring loaded. And then when you're ready to park, simply put your foot down and rock the bike backward. Really love this sturdy kickstand. Important for any cargo e-bike is weight capacity. This bike can hold 500 pounds, which is super impressive. 242 pounds on the rear. And important for me is that both my wife and I can fit on this bike. Super easy to get on. It even has a dropper suspension seat post lever underneath the seat. So say I come to a stop, can easily plant my feet, and then if I'm ready to ride again, simply pull the lever and the seat will raise up. So the bike can accommodate a wide variety of riders, and as cargo bikes tend to be, this bike is heavy, 85 pounds, and yes, that's with all the accessories installed. Next, let's jump into all the components. For brakes, we have Hudson hydraulic disc brakes paired with 180mm rotors. And the tires are Kenda 20-inch by 2.25 inches wide, street tread, reflective sidewall, same size in the rear, and they have K-Shield puncture resistance. You have plastic fenders in the front and in the rear, complete with flaps. And the front wheel is attached with a through axle for increased strength. There's a front suspension fork. It's name brand from SR Suntour, Mobi A32, and it does say cargo here. So I'm assuming it's specifically designed for cargo electric bikes in mind. It is a coil suspension fork with 50mm of travel. Here's what you can expect. And there is a preload adjustment knob on both sides. So it's nice to have the included front rack. You could put your own bag on here, but Xtracycle sells some premium accessories. We've been using this same one on the Swoop. It attaches with Velcro, one in the front and two in the rear. So you have lots of storage, zipper pocket on this side and a closed one here on the other. It's a magnetic closure, and you also have a buckle strap and tons of storage in here, pockets all around. And there's even some mounting points on the right of the rack. Xtracycle opted for BMX style handlebars, and that's nice because you can adjust them either further away from you or closer, just depending on your preference and your height. Nice cable wrapping here, enters the frame on the left, and cables entering the other side as well. And the front light that runs off the main battery is mounted to the handlebars, branded Priority Bicycles. They're a sister brand. And yes, a light in the rear. It is brake actuated. Also with these handlebars, you just have room for a bunch of accessories here. Moving to the handlebars, we have ergonomic rubber locking grips on the left and right, matching Hudson hydraulic disc brake levers with motor cutoffs, a left-hand thumb throttle, Shimano's 8-speed trigger shifter. There's a left-hand mounted LCD disc screen, power button in the middle, miles per hour in the center, assist in the top right, 0 all the way up to 5. Battery capacity on the right, trip on the bottom. Hitting the power button will cycle through different information over to odometer and rest. You can turn the lights on by holding pedal assist up, and there is a walk mode by holding pedal assist down. There are some advanced settings you can get to by holding pedal assist up and down at the same time. Most likely you'll want to go to the second P setting. That will allow you to change it to a class 3 electric bike for speeds up to 28 miles per hour. And look, 2 bottle cage bosses. And what a great spot for mounting the best water bottle cage on the market. Small water bottle, or maybe you have a bigger water bottle up to a Nalgene water bottle. Check it out and some other high quality accessories at shop.ebikeescape.com. Thank you so much for your support. Next, the battery is located beneath the frame here. Turn the key to the left. There is a button release at the bottom of the frame here. Simply pops out. This is a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery, 720 watt hours. And yes, the bike and battery is UL certified. There's a charge indicator at the end. And yes, it fits into our waterproof and flame resistant battery bag. Also available at shop.ebikeescape.com. Great for when you're storing or traveling with your electric bike. To put the battery back, terminals first. Simply snaps into place, but don't forget to lock it to the frame. Then you can remove the keys. It comes with a 2.8 amp output charger, so around 5 hours to fully charge this battery up from dead. And it even has a fan built into the charger to keep it cool. And you can charge the battery both off the bike, of course, but the port is located right here for when the battery is in the frame. Rubber cover as well. Accessory-wise, you also get a number of tools. That's not that uncommon, but they do give you touch-up paint, which I do appreciate. Included are plastic Welgo pedals, also some mounting points beneath the frame here. Sella Royale saddle, it's the Azenza Plus, and then of course the dropper seat post. There's the nice kickstand, motor cable coming on the left here. They have this netting to protect your passenger's feet, the included running boards, and the included hoopty for hauling kids. The kids ride in comfort with Xtracycle's plush seat pad. The Thule seats that are compatible are the rack mounted ones. They clamp onto the rails right here. And yes, you can put 2 of them still. These points are what makes it possible to stand the bike vertically. And maybe if you're not always riding with kids or you're just planning to haul cargo with this electric bike, don't worry, Xtracycle has you covered as well. They have these side load bags, which Velcro and clip here. And what's cool about these, yes, they're reflective for when you're on the road. but they have tons of storage in here and some pockets. But even more, say you have older kids, you can remove this flap completely and you'd have room for storage, but yes, your kids could still sneak their legs in here as well. So really thought out accessories from Xtracycle. And jumping into the motor, tucked behind here, 750 watts, and it's engaged with a torque sensor. Stay tuned to see how it performs up our hill climb test. I'm super curious. They're using a Shimano Altus derailleur, 11 to 34 teeth, and up front a 46 tooth front chainring, single-sided. This is how the kickstand is attached with these U-style brackets. And yes, there is a protector here to prevent the chain from marring up your frame. Now that you know about all the components, I know the kids are anxious for a ride, so let's get into some first-person riding footage. Okay, here we go. I have my cargo, and of course, snacks were promised. Again, love the kickstand and the stability even with the kids on the back. All right, our first test will be throttle only in pedal assist level 0, no access to the throttle, but you have full access even in pedal assist level 1. Now this is a class 3 electric bike, but class 2 in the sense that the throttle will cut off at 20 miles per hour, as we'll see how it does here. 3, 2, 1, throttle only. Takes a second to kick in, and there we go. 13, 15, 17, and I feel the motor backing off, holding us at 20 miles per hour. All right, let's get to some pedaling. Now remember, this is a torque sensor electric bike, which means the more pedal power that I put in, the more power I will get out from the motor. That's compared to a cadence sensor, which is more of an on-off switch. Now, the way this is geared, I assume they did this intentionally because the lowest gear in the rear is going to be very capable for hill climbing. And I'm going to need to shift up very quickly, but starting from a stop, motor kicks on immediately, and we're cruising at 6 miles an hour, but I do need to shift up here. Slower cadence. All right, third gear, 10 miles an hour. But in order to get more power from the motor, I do need to put more power in myself. I'm going to shift up to fourth gear and fifth gear. And now we're cruising at 14 miles an hour, but putting in a moderate amount of effort. Let's go into pedal assist level 2. We'll leave it in fifth gear. And now we're able to more easily cruise around 13 miles an hour. Let's shift up to sixth gear. I'll put in more power. 14 miles an hour, again, putting in a decent amount of effort though to get to 16 miles an hour. Let's go into pedal assist level 3. What my wife and I have been finding with this bike is it's easy to cruise between 14 to 16, maybe even 17 miles an hour, but you do need to put in a little bit more effort if you want to get to 20, and definitely 20 and above, as we'll see. Pedal assist level 3 though, 13 miles an hour is a nice cruising speed. And then putting in more effort. The torque sensor is very responsive. It just doesn't give you a ton of power. 17 miles an hour there. Shift up to seventh gear. We'll go into pedal assist level 4. So there's always pressure on my legs. So this is a cargo electric bike. I feel like for someone who does like to pedal, and even with the kids in the back, feels plenty stable. Comfort-wise, more of a narrow seat. If you want more comfort, you might want to opt for something a little bit plusher. I don't feel a ton from the suspension seat post. I think the travel is pretty small, but I do love the front suspension. And yes, the BMX style handlebars. And to get to higher speeds in pedal assist level 4, I do need to put in more effort. There's 17, 18 miles an hour. I feel like my legs would feel it after a long ride. There's 18 miles an hour. All right, pedal assist level 5. Very easy to go 16 miles an hour here. But again, if you want to go faster, yes, you do need to put in more leg power. I'll shift up to 8th gear here. All right, getting close to 20, but putting a fair amount of effort in. And there's 21 on the display. All right, let's see how fast we can go. Of course, safely with the keeping in mind the kids are in the back. There's 23. And yeah, significant amount of effort even to get to 23, 24. A little bit of wind today though. All right, let's get to a short clip of me trying to get to 28 miles per hour with the bike unloaded for safety purposes. I'll do a brake test and then we'll get to the hill climb test. Okay, pedal assist level 5. Let's see if we can hit 28 here. Bike is unloaded. Shift up to 8th gear. 23, 25, 26, 28 according to the Xtracycle display. GPS just showing a little bit less than that. It takes a significant amount of effort. Let's do a brake test. All right, no problem with these hydraulic disc brakes. With that, let's get to our hill climb test. All right, more snacks and...
Welcome to the hill climb test. Come on.
All right, our first test will be throttle only. The GoPro makes this hill look so much smaller than it is. So we'll put up a picture as well as the specs of this hill. And we will see what the minimum speed is. One thing we've been noticing is the motor is definitely capable. When we're cruising, as I said, between 14 to 17 miles an hour, we found that sometimes it's nice to just hit the throttle because then you're guaranteed full power from the motor and you can get up to 20 miles per hour. Of course, the throttle is super handy for when you're at a stop to get started, especially while loaded. All right, here we go. 10 miles an hour. 9. It looks like it will take us all the way up on throttle alone, which for hauling lots of cargo is still impressive. Now, I love cargo electric bikes, so I'd love to hear down in the comment section, what other models are you considering? Have you ridden a cargo electric bike? Are you new to cargo electric bikes? Do you plan to haul kids or cargo? Okay, we made it to the top with a minimum speed of 9 miles an hour, though it held us at 10 or 11 for a decent amount of time as well. But this is an electric bike after all, so I'm going to go back down and we'll see how it performs while pedaling. All right, here we go. Going to use the throttle just to get started a little bit, and we'll shift all the way down and we will go into pedal assist level 1. It's always a toss-up on some of these torque sensor electric bikes on the power delivery, how much power the motor will give you, on hills especially. And first gear, pedal assist level 1, I could maybe do this, but I'm going to be winded at the top of the hill. Let's go into pedal assist level 2. I don't feel a significant relief there, even if I push really hard on the pedals. Let's go to pedal assist level 3. Felt it a little bit more there, but still putting in a decent amount of power. I think if I slowed my cadence, yeah, we'll slow down. Let's go into pedal assist level 4. So I think for significant hills, I just went up to pedal assist level 5. You're going to want that if you plan to pedal the highest level of pedal assist. I could shift up maybe to second gear here. And as you can see, we're just not going very fast, 6 miles an hour. Now, if I put a little bit more effort in, we do get up to 9 miles an hour. But I think if this was on my route to school or something with the kids, I would probably just use the throttle and shift up to a comfortable gear, and you can still provide pedal power. You can just control a little bit more how much you're providing, because it's going to be a pretty decent workout even in pedal assist level 5 and even in some of the lower gears, at least on the extreme end of things with this hill. With that, let's get to some third-person riding footage and we'll give you our concluding thoughts on the Xtracycle Hopper. There's something special about a company that focuses solely on one type of e-bike, and in this case, it's cargo e-bikes. As a dad of 3 young kids, cargo e-bikes are a staple in our garage. To put things into perspective, Xtracycle has historically targeted the high-end cargo e-bike market with models like the Swoop, Stoker, and RFA starting at $4,000 and up. With the Hopper, they've optimized for price by using a hub drive motor, but you still get a quality cargo e-bike. At the $24.99 launch price, and don't forget to check the description for a special code, there's a lot of value here. Plus, depending on where you live, free local assembly is available. When comparing it to other cargo e-bikes, the Hopper stands out with an impressive 500-pound capacity, including a 240-pound load in the rear. This is the highest load capacity of any cargo e-bike I've reviewed, perfect for older kids or when you want to carry up to 3 children. For those new to cargo e-bikes, accessories are crucial, just ask my wife. The Hopper includes some great ones, and these are among our favorites. You get a massive front rack platform with the porter rack for mounting your own bag or Xtracycles. My personal favorite out of all the cargo e-bikes we've reviewed with child enclosures is Xtracycle's Hoopty, which is included here. It offers double rails, comfortable grips, and optional snack bars for when your kids grow up. And yes, you can even fit 3 kids on the back, despite this being one of Xtracycle's more compact models. Beyond that, the optional side load bags are fantastic for hauling cargo. Overall, the accessories are just high quality and very well thought out. Other standout features include the cargo-specific SR Suntour suspension fork, BMX-style handlebars, and maybe even the sturdiest kickstand I've seen on a cargo e-bike. It also has a dropper seat post, which is handy, and vertical storage, which is super handy for saving space in your garage. I could really use that right now. When it comes to stability, both the Hopper and Swoop are some of the most stable and nimble cargo e-bikes we've ridden. Even when fully loaded, they just feel lighter than they actually are for some reason, and I think that's due to Xtracycle's expertise in designing only cargo e-bikes. Now here are some notes from my wife and me after testing this bike for about 50 miles. First, the LCD screen is basic and small. It works, but we've seen better displays at this price point and lower. While the torque sensor feels responsive and gives a smooth riding experience, I wish it provided a little more power more easily, or at least gave the option to tweak that in the advanced settings. You can comfortably cruise between 14 and 17 miles per hour, but pushing to 20 miles per hour or higher will require more effort. Reaching 28 miles per hour is pretty challenging. For city riders, this might not be a huge deal because it is still plenty fast, especially with precious cargo in the rear. Plus, you can always use the throttle to get the full motor power whenever you want, but it is something to consider. If this review helped you decide on this e-bike, or we've just generally helped you make an e-bike purchase, I'd really appreciate it if you use our link down in the description before you make your purchase. It's free and directly supports the channel. I think the Hopper fills an important gap in Xtracycle's lineup. It offers a more affordable option while still providing that all-important throttle, which some buyers really value. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.